everybody, welcome back. It's interesting. The last few videos going into about God's warning and what the Lord's been teaching about examining yourselves, and even asking Him to examine you while you're examining yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with us going, Lord, help. Sometimes we get stuck in these ruts in life. Maybe you like them. Maybe some of you go, no, I'm not really into ruts. Maybe some people go, yeah, I'm stuck in them. Constant. My life's a disappointment. I feel like all I do is work, and I just repeat the same pattern every day, kind of like the movie Groundhog Day. There's a reason for this. See, the enemy wants to keep you down. He wants to keep you feeling that helplessness. He wants you to be financial strapped. He wants you to be in debt to society. Because he wants us to live. We got to have it now. We got to have everything now. There is no more waiting. You remember when you were a child and you wait on Christmas morning? Now some of you may go, well, no, even that was a disappointment. All right, I agree with you. But until you fully accept the Spirit of Jesus and God, and you have that relationship, man's going to disappoint you. Your family's going to disappoint you. Friends will disappoint you. But when you ask God to prune things out of your life, you can't go searching for things that He's taken from you. Again, you look at, when have you begun to have enough of it? When are you going to say, I'm tired of struggling every day. I'm tired of just getting by, or I'm tired of just escaping through and going, I'm paying just the minimum on my credit card bills. I'm paying just this. And you're still never going to get out of it. Because, see, they want you in that financial rut. They want you stuck in there to where you constantly are never free from the interest rates. The idea is to use them and pay them off. Sometimes it just doesn't happen. I used to tell people, and they say, well, I'm trying to build credit. Okay, well then here's what you do. You go and get yourself a credit card, you use it for gas, you take that money and you subtract it from your checking account. It's gone. No different than you slide your ATM card in there. It's gone. But you gotta stay on it as it's gone, and not that it's still there, I can use it. Because that's where you're gonna get in trouble. And the same thing with grocery shopping. You use it. See, most of these cards will give you 5% cash back. Like, good example, like the Capital One Walmart card. You go through Capital One and Walmart joined together, you get 5% off every time you use that card in the Walmart. Now the good thing about it is that money builds up, that 5% that builds up in there, and you get a percentage put on your card. Well, now you save it up enough. It's like saving up points for things like driving truck. We can go to Pilot and save up our points. We can go to Love, save up our points. We can buy merchandise, drinks, food, clothing, whatever. So you look at it and you go, hey, why not save up the points on there? And then in the long run, you're paying. You can now take that, you can either put it on a gift card, or you can put it when it builds up to enough, or you can cash it out, or you can use it to pay off some of your bill. And it shows you how much cash value you have. And then you go down the line of charges, and you can pay off a few of those things. So it's almost like you're getting paid again to use your card. But if you're subtracting that money like you would go to the grocery store and you use your bank card to pay for your food, and and you use that and subtract it, then you're that far ahead of the game. See, the enemy wants to bring us down. He wants to keep us. He wants to hold us. He wants to keep us in it because we allow him. Temptation. He just puts the idea there. He knows what your fleshly life is because you refuse to give it up. You got to have it. You're not willing to see what God has behind his back for you because you want it now. God wants to give you the desires of your heart, but you got to be in the right place to receive it. If you say, Nelson, I need $100, okay, I don't know when I'm going to get it back to you, or I can try to get it back to you by this day. Okay, well, at least you're being honest with me. You know, do you realize the Bible even speaks about money and putting money out? And so when you look at all that and you go, when we loan money out to people, okay, if they give it back, they give it back. You're supposed to be okay and not hold it. Wow. Oh my. Oh, Heavenly Father, just lift up this accident, this semi-truck, and this truck hauling that little kid trailer. If they haven't had an opportunity to meet your son, that they have an opportunity if they are on that point of near death. I lift up these responders. I lift up the people that are directing traffic. I lift up each and every family member if someone is deceased, that they have peace, comfort in their lives, that there's no grudges, there's not holding anything against anybody, no matter who's at fault, what happened, let everything be done. And let them all have an opportunity to, first of all, receive your son and ask for forgiveness of their life, and let them be received into your kingdom if it's their time to pass away. And this I say and I ask in your son's name, the Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. So anyways, you gotta look at where our lives are. You know, surrendering everything and giving your free will to God and surrendering it into the Lord's hands, that means you gotta be willing to change. You can't still live a fleshly life and not have that connection with God and the Lord. How much time do you really spend? You know, it's like only going to a friend when you're in need. You know, that goes back to the ATM teaching. Using God when you need him. Using Jesus when you need him. When you're crying out, when you're in that low of low. How many lows of lows do you got to go? I've always said there's a spot in a well, if you picture an old well, where you got the slime as it builds up, and you got that mossy fill, and as you keep sinking, it goes into this darker and darker area where you can't see because the water gets darker as you go down because the bricks are turning colors. And then you got that muck underneath, and it holds you. It gets to a point where you can't even breathe. You know, I mentioned quicksand before. You know, quicksand isn't like what people think. You get in it and you automatically sink. No, you don't start really sinking until you start moving. The more you move, the more you sink. The more you drop. Faster. Until it gets to the point, I would imagine, if you probably couldn't get out and you sunk slowly, you'd probably be alive long enough until that stuff got around your chest and just compact around you to where you couldn't breathe. I would imagine. It may eventually just take you all the way underneath. I don't know. I've never really been around quicksand. Don't really know a lot about it. I just know that I've heard that before. That quicksand isn't like, it's really why they call it quicksand is, it's kind of ironic, I guess, if that's even the right word to use, that you really don't, it's not quick. There's nothing quick about it. It's kind of like your pain and suffering. There's nothing quick about it. You because he loves to bring pain. You got to remember, I talk about that one demon all the time. It's clever. It is so attached to you, it knows you better than you know yourself. Why do you think you always end up in situations, or you got certain friends that like to peer pressure you and don't take no for an answer? And then you end up doing things you should have never done, or you normally wouldn't have done. I've had them, but I never did anything. I'm not bragging on myself. I'm just saying I've never done anything that I did not want to do. There was times that I did stuff because I was hanging out with people that probably wouldn't have been the first thing I would have ever thought about doing for that day. But it's the fact that I wanted to hang out with them, and whatever the day brought, when there's substance involved in making you not think rationally, you do stupid stuff. That's why the Lord don't like drunkenness. That's why he doesn't like the additives and things we put into our body, because it's no good for us at all. No good. So, have you had enough yet? Have you had enough of dysfunctional family life, dysfunctional work life, dysfunctional every day of no peace, no joy, no happiness? Or do you live in a household where you feel like you're not appreciated? Do you feel like you just keep going down this dead beat road that says dead end, and you keep hitting that brick wall every day? But you're like that happy clown. Is it really happy, or is it just put on a happy face? Because you feel like nobody gets you. Nobody asks, hey, how was your day? I want you to do this. I want you to go and spend some quiet time in prayer. See, we can't ask Jesus to change people in their lives. Don't even do it. Because it's their responsibility to change. Maybe it's us that needs to change. Now, I'm not saying go and get a divorce. I'm not saying throw your kids out in the street. Although sometimes I know we want to. But then again, let's rewind. Are you truly raising them in a Christian home? Are you truly following God's ways and the Lord's ways? He set everything by example. He did everything by example. And we are to live by that example. Or are you, do you go to church? Do you read? Do you take time to read? Or is your everyday life too much? See, you stack things on your own dinner plate. You ever go to a buffet? I'm sure most people have. You pay whatever the price is these days. Some of them are like $15, $16, and it's crazy. And you leave out of there overstuffed and feel miserable. Oh, I should have ate something. But all you keep thinking about is I just paid $15. I'm eating more than one plate of food. But you ever notice when you go to a restaurant and you order a meal? And I'm not talking about an appetizer or anything like that. I'm just talking about you just order a meal. You're like, I'm not paying that ridiculous price for the appetizers. I'm not going to do it. They bring you out some bread or something. Mexican restaurants will bring you out salsa and chips. You ever notice when you leave out of there, most of the time your hunger's gone? And it's not as much as you normally would at a buffet? See, when you start giving Jesus your hunger pains, he fills you with food that nobody knows about. He fills you with water that no one knows about. But the people that truly seek him, the people that are truly in that daily relationship and that daily prayer time. I've told you guys many times on video, I cannot get up in the morning without asking him into my life. Because I feel like a failure some days. Something you have not heard from me before? Yes, even me. Not that anybody says, well, hey, this guy's got it all together. Maybe people do. I don't know. I don't have it all together. I don't have it all together. I have thoughts sometimes. I have actions that I've done. I am a stubborn mule. I'm that mule that will sit down and go, you're going to drag me. You're going to get sick of dragging me, and you're just going to leave me be. I'm not saying that's the right way to be. I'm not saying that at all. By far am I saying that. What I'm saying is, I can't do anything without him. I cannot drive my car and I didn't put gas in it the next day and I run out of gas. It's nobody's fault but my own. If I leave my house and don't go by a gas station and I run out of gas, it's my fault. If I don't prepare my day and stupid stuff starts happening, it's my fault. Because I didn't prepare my day. I allowed my morning to be so chaotic. And it shouldn't. You ever notice when it's time for things to be done around the house, cleaning, doing laundry, whatever, it seems like you might be the only person doing all this stuff? I'm sorry, but you need to stop it. You need to just go down and wash your own clothes and let all their stuff pile up for once. When they go, hey, wait a minute, even if they start doing the Bible thing, well, the household should be this and that, but you both work. So it's a two-way street. You're both responsible. See, I'm the opposite. I will go down and wash clothes. I will cook meals. I love to cook when I'm home. Not that Darlene doesn't. I'm not saying that at all. She'll ask me all the time, hey, do you want me to make anything for the week that you're out? Or 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever. That way, she always wants to know what I like so I can enjoy having dinners and stuff in the truck when I'm away from home. But I like to do things because, here's why. I like to show my appreciation what she does for me. And showing appreciation when I walk down there, not grumbling, going, oh my gosh, the clothes are always down here, blah, blah, blah. I did not marry a maid. I did not marry my mom. I married a wife. I married a person. I married someone that gives 50% and I give 50%. And together 100% to Jesus. But on solo walking, I give 100% today to Jesus before I do anything. I can't do it without him. I can't. I will fall so fast back in that lifestyle that anger starts coming in. Things start happening out here and I'm mad about it. Confrontation starts coming out. I told you guys about that one guy that cut me off and it was just, but I went 2 days without asking Jesus to help me. I went 2 days without being in the Word. And all this stuff starts to take place. And it's my own fault. I know the devil. And I know some of you might go, well, yeah, my kids, blah, blah. But, and I'm not making my case any better than anybody else's because by far, it's not. I know his tricks, I know his schemes, I know how he works because I lived it for so long. It's why I'm able to tell you what to look for, how to get around it, how to stop it. Some of you might be living a life right now where you're going, you cry and nobody hears you cry. But he hears you. It takes everybody in your household. If you got people staying with you, and I'm firm on this now. You got people staying with you and you're paying all the utilities, paying for the food, paying for everything else. The least they can do is get up and clean the house. Go out and mow a lawn. Most people have riding mowers these days. It's like driving a car. Matter of fact, I know a person told me once their dad taught them how to mow the grass, and he set cones up, and he taught them how to parallel park by using a riding mower. And then when they could keep straight lines, and then he put cones out and made them drive through cones and how to back into cones And that's how he taught him how to drive. And then he took him off the street. I'm like, wow, that's pretty impressive. Parallel parking, I've taught each one of the kids how to adjust their mirrors like I do in this big truck. But anyways, getting back to what we were talking about. So appreciation, they should be out there. They should be learning how to cook. If a person can bake cookies, cupcakes, desserts, make that kind of stuff, follow a recipe, they can follow a recipe to cook a meal. And I'm telling you right now, it don't take a rocket scientist to figure out how to wash dishes. One of my biggest pet peeves is walking in and seeing a sink full of dishes and seeing people that are sitting there doing nothing. It never happened. That's why I said I was hard on my kids. They'll tell you. I didn't put up with a whole lot of nonsense. When they were younger and they wanted cell phones, they had chores. If the chores wasn't done, I'd take their phone. They acted up in school, I took their phones. I don't care how much they cried, screamed, carried on. It didn't matter to me. I was their father before their friend. They're mad at you anyways. So what difference does it make? Can you do for one and do the same for the other ones? I look at the grandchildren. We didn't do for one that we would not done for the other one. I will not do one for one grandchild if I can't do for the other one. But I am firm on this. If they're not in my lives, I'm not doing for anybody. And you may say, well, Nelson, isn't that kind of... No, to me it's not. I prayed, and I prayed, and I prayed, and I prayed. Why should I think about a birthday or anything like that if I can't be a part of their lives? They don't know me. I really don't know them. I wouldn't know what to get them. And I'm not a big gift card person. I don't like getting people gift cards. I will, because it gets so easy these days, because it gets so hard. Why is it hard? Because you don't have a relationship. Why is it hard to sit with Jesus? Because you don't have a relationship with him. You don't know him, but he knows you. I was just telling Darlene, I was sitting there praying, and I was walking along this beach type setting, and I picked up a rock and I threw it. The Lord picked up a rock and threw it, and we kind of just chuckled. And then he picked up a rock and threw it. I picked up a rock and I said, Lord, clearly you can outthrow me. He says, but I don't want to. I want to be with you. I don't want to. I go and I prepare the pathway for your day before you start your day. If I'm in front of you, you're just falling behind me. What are you learning? If I walk behind you, you won't hear everything I'm saying. But if I walk next to you, we're having a relationship. And that's why I call him my friend. Because he is. But I also respect him as my Savior. I also respect him as my shepherd, to lead me, guide me. That's when he's preparing that pathway. See, tomorrow is going to come. He's already preparing that pathway for me. He walks with me. If he's walking with me, I will not sin. As long as I'm listening. You got to understand, the devil is trying to rob, kill, and destroy everything in your life. And I hate to tell you people, but we allow it. We allow him into our lives, into our household, and these husbands and these dads, they're so worried about where I worked all week. I used to know a person that their husband would go to gambling things on the weekend, hang out with his buddies. And I'd sit there and think about, what about your kids? How much time do you spend with them? How much time do you spend with God? Now, I'm not saying I'm perfect. Trust me. I can tell you stuff about my life I've never spoken to anybody. Matter of fact, when I first started opening up the stuff, Darlene was the first person that I shared a lot of things in my life with that I had never told anyone. She was the first person I think I told that I beat that person so bad. But you know, I think about it all. And I know the earlier videos when I was talking about how people made fun of me about my face and stuff. I look at my face sometimes and I think, I'm glad today. Because if it wasn't for the remembrance of what I look like today, I remember what I did to someone out of anger. It's true. Anger is bad. It's the worst thing that we can do is stew all that anger. Some people will hold anger so much and they're mad at other people, and you just happen to be in the fire line. Look out. When that beast is unleashed, it don't care who's in its path. It's going to destroy whoever and everybody. Not that it's right. You may have done nothing. You may not even deserve it. But the longer it happens and the more it happens, the less you feel bad about it happening. Take my word for that, because it's true. You can escape this lifestyle. See, that one particular demon that watches you, the one I call the Watcher and the Whisperer, it's the same demon. Because they like to talk to you and whisper things when you're sleeping. When you're getting ready to go into that deep set realm of sleep. They like to sit there next to you because that's what they do. When they first start off, they're that creepy little shadow thing that starts off in the corner and you see something move quickly. And you stop and you look and go, I know I'm not imagining things. And I know some of you are probably going to be like, wait a minute, hold on, let me rewind this for a second. Did he just say what I think he said? Because you see this stuff. You may think it's just an imagination. No, it's truly, you're seeing something move. Now, you can always ask Jesus, is that an angel from you? If it is, let me see. You may see the thing come back across. That's how you know when Jesus has one of his angels. Or it just may be a clear evil entity. How many times have you walked through your children's room and really pay attention to what's there? Oh, I used to examine my kids' room all the time. I'd look for any kind of satanic stuff, crosses that weren't designed to be what they were, candles, cards, Ouija boards, potions, books. I didn't care what it was. They never knew it. I looked for drugs. I looked for signs of anything. I remember the first time when I found out my son was smoking. All I could do is pray. See, my youngest daughter would tell me things, and then I believe about 5% out of 100% of the stuff that she tells me. Because she's told me so much stuff, then she forgets. One thing she forgets is, I don't forget a lot of stuff. Now, I forgive her, but I bring it up to her. I said, I don't know why you find it necessary to lie to me. I'm not stupid. I wasn't born yesterday. I didn't fall off the bus today and say, here I am. But my son's also changing his life, which I'm happy for that. A lot of prayer. And you know, you just take day by day with yourself. You know, I'm not judgmental. I don't judge them. I just speak my piece on it, and that's just being a dad. No matter how old they are, I'm still their dad. And I'm still going to give them the wisdom that I have for them. And whatever they're going to do, they're going to do it. I can't stop it. They're on their own. They run their own house. Am I excited about some of the people they're with? No. Are they excited about what I do? Probably not. I don't know. I don't have that type of relationship. My oldest daughter, I couldn't even tell you what her favorite show is. It's always been like that. Her mom always kept her far from it. And it's kind of weird because when we do have a conversation, I don't know what to talk about. It's like that awkward moment that you talk about the weather with somebody that you really don't know, and you talk about their how'd your day go, and then it's like crickets. See, but that's what the devil wants to do. The devil wants to take you and lead you away. The devil wants to move things, but yet they wanted their lives the way they wanted it at that moment. Their flesh was more important. Their having that freedom was more important. I was more trying to keep them in school to do something with their lives instead of struggle with their lives. Well, their hard struggles, Dad, you don't understand. Oh, trust me, you don't understand. Because you never know what someone's going through. You don't know the hurt that you're causing to someone else. But I can tell you this much. No matter how much someone hurts us, how much more they hurt God and Jesus. It's crazy. But look what happens. You know, walking along and you start reading the Bible and you start unfolding stuff out of the Bible. I don't care how many times you read it. Every time there's something going to be different that's going to catch your attention. Because that's how he speaks to people. Some people need that kind of speaking. He leads you to verse to verse to verse to verse to verse. Sometimes you just go through life and you go, I don't know. That's okay. Sometimes you may not hear him answer, but you got to know Jesus is working on it. Sometimes you just got to stand back a moment. And I know there's times when we got to make decisions and you go, but if you truly are seeking from the heart, and you're truly asking for something that is not ridiculous, no good for you. And I know I've heard people say, well, I prayed to win the lottery in Jesus' name. I prayed and I believed it and I didn't win. Well, you might not be worthy. And I know what you're going to say. Well, whoa. Because if you're foolish of money, and you do stupid stuff with it, then why are you worthy for him to give it to you? You're not. I went out every day and blew money in casinos, in alcohol, drugs, and whatever else my flesh desires. I'm not ready to go down that whole line because I could probably blow your mind, and some of you probably going to sit there and go, my gosh, good. It's time to shake that foundation. It's time to shake it so bad that it starts waking people up. And you start looking. Now, women, just because your husband's not doing the right thing doesn't mean it gives you that license to go out and do the wrong things too. Doesn't mean it gives you the rights, if you have children, to tear down your husband, their father. Husbands, it doesn't give you the rights if your wife is running around and doing whatever she's doing, and you know it doesn't give you the right to tear it down. Did never get me the rights to verbally tongue whip my ex. I was wrong in what I did, but I didn't care anymore. If she would have just listened to me in the beginning, wait till the kids are old enough, you go on and do what you're doing. I don't care. I don't need to know what you're doing. Just do whatever you would. Just leave me alone. Why do you got to cause problems every time you walk in this house? I thought that was fair. I'll pay half the bills, you pay the other half. And I'm not paying the other half until you show me the money and it's in my hand. Because I got tired of her blowing money, and then I had to always come up with the rent money again, or some utility, or whatever else that came along the equation. My own fault, people. My own fault. I made up excuses why I'm doing it. I wasn't following God then. I sure wasn't listening to Jesus. Instead, I was going into these gyms, and I was going back into listening to the heavy music and putting myself in that lifestyle. Went back into drinking. I don't even know if half of them knew I was back into drinking. Back running the old streets. Back doing the things that I started doing. Started running into people that I knew years back. Hey. Yeah, maybe. 1 o'clock in the morning. What are you guys doing? Come on over. Walk in there. Candles are going. Chants are going. Does it ever leave? Not if you continue to entertain it. For yourself. Number one thing we have is prayer. You understand the most important thing in life? We were just talking about this a while back. Even today, we talked about it again. You ever watch, and I'm not promoting anything, it's not an endorsement. Not that I got to explain why I say this stuff, but sometimes people ask me things, and I was like, no. Sometimes people, I had somebody send a message over to me. My phone was acting up after I got off of the airplane. And I put it on silence mode, and I went in, I don't know what I did, but now it's like weird. All the stuff's open, and it blocked stuff, and I'm trying to figure out how to unblock stuff. And they sent me a message saying, why'd you block me? I've been trying to get a hold of you, and blah, blah, blah. I was like, I didn't block you. Then I went on there, and I started looking down through there, and I made it like halfway down the call list in my phone and on Messenger. I'm looking at it going, this is blocked, that's blocked, incoming stuff's blocked. I'm like, good grief. I didn't say I was a brilliant person with phones. That's why I don't mess with a lot of stuff on phones. Smartphones are too smart. And I'll leave it at that. And I'm not even going to go in there trying to figure out all the stuff the phone does. When I do stumble across something, I'm like, hey, that's pretty cool. Then I can't remember how to get back in there. So cool. But maybe I don't need it. Maybe it's the Lord saying, nah, just leave it alone. Or maybe He blocked stuff for a reason. I don't know. I don't know why things happen. I just know I got to put my faith and trust into Him. Because if it's truly God's way, it will always come back to surface. And I believe it. I believe that with all my heart. It will always be there if it's truly what God wants in your life. I guess it takes all that guessing game out of it, I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, but I know today I can change yesterday by living today a better way. I can ask for forgiveness for the mistakes, the things that I may have done or not done enough of, or allowed stupid to continue to happen. See, sometimes you need somebody to talk to you just like this, to rattle your cage a little bit, to irritate you, maybe even offend you in a good way, to get you to listen. The time is short. Doing a good work and good deeds and going out there and being the best person, volunteering for everything under the sun, going into church and sitting there, but then you come out and do the same nonsense. How then do you say you're going to go to heaven? I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. It's like saying, I'm going to serve two masters, and then time comes, well, I did all this good works. Well, then I tell you to go read Revelation. You see exactly what he says about that. Let's see what he says. Depart from me, I do not know you. That's words that I don't want to hear. Do I deserve to hear that? Yes. Do I deserve to have his mercy? No. Do I deserve to have favor from him? No. Do I deserve to have peace in my life? No. Do I deserve for him to come and rescue me out of hell? No, I didn't. But I am thankful that he allowed me to continue on the rotten journey I was on to get where I'm at today. Have I complained when I was at other trucking companies? Yes. Because they wore me out. You're running out every bit of your clock and you have no idea where you're going to park. And we drive over 11 hours in a 14-hour period. We're in violation. We could get a ticket for that. And especially if we end up in an accident. On top of that, we're in really big trouble. Because you know what them smart lawyers are going to say? Well, this guy's a professional. This guy shouldn't have been on the road. He was already past his 11 hours driving illegally. There's no fighting it, people. You're guilty. Whatever's coming, it's coming. It might not have been your fault. They might have been on their phone. They might have pulled out in front of you. Who knows the whole equation of it? But let's just say it's not your fault. If it's not your fault, but yet you're in violation, it is your fault. Sometimes I sit here and I wonder if I gotta sit here and go to school to learn how to drive these big trucks down the road, and you see these people on here, you know they just got it because they got a temporary tag on these campers. Now they're pulling a car trailer behind them. You ever sit and wonder, do they have to take a test? I don't think so. But yet, slow stop, slow stop, slow stop, slow stop. And I gotta keep adjusting my speed. And it's exhausting. This is stuff you deal with all day long. And that fatigue sets in. And it starts draining you throughout the day. Doing this all day long. And I'm called a steering wheel. Come on and sit in this truck for a little bit. And let's see what I see every day. Be exhausted. But then again, most jobs are. That's why they call it jobs. That's why they call it work. But it doesn't mean we have to take it with us everywhere we go. It doesn't mean I gotta be miserable because I've had a bad day. When was the last time you just came home, husband, and asked your children how they're doing? How's school? Do they play sports? How's sports? Anything I can help you with? What about you? If you got a child in football, you want me to go outside and throw the football with you? Maybe show you a couple things. Even your wife. How was your work? Maybe she's got home before you. She's already preparing dinner. You ever think about just walking in there, giving her a hug, and say, "Here, let me chop up some of this stuff with you. Let's talk about our day. Let's invest some time into each other." Oh, I know. Here, let me get my cell phone out. I'll send you a text. Hey, how you doing? I'm standing right here beside you. Why are you texting me? Good grief. I don't know if you guys picked that up or not. You get the reckless people that do the things they do. no care for anything around them but themselves. This is what the Bible speaks about also. When people become lovers of themselves and more about themselves and prideful, this is what happens. It says so in the Bible. These are the end times events. These are the things you will see. The very things that you will see is people being lovers of themselves, boastful about themselves. And it's all pridefulness. It's all the very same things that Lucifer got thrown out of heaven. Awesome. And then you get to Einstein said, and I hate to say it like this, but it's true. Now the guy was we all get over to the left lane because there's a cop sitting up here with a truck pulled over. And what does this guy do? He jumps right back into the right-hand lane. And rides up right next to him. That's the smart thing to do. Yeah. No. What if the cop just happened to stumble out onto the line, and your event of your day changes because you're in that big a hurry to go wherever you're going? You're late, you're late. There's no sense of making your day worse. You may say, what else? Boss says if I'm late with my time, I'm going to get sent home and I'm going to be suspended for a couple of days. If I do it again, I'm fired. Well, maybe you deserve to be fired. Why are you late? I don't show no pity on being late. I mean, if it's an event that took place and it's once in a while, that's one thing. But you always see those certain people that are late all the time. I used to go pick up a guy for work. Knowingly, I had to drive 25 minutes out of my time in the morning. And he was never up, never ready. And I'd wait 20, 30 minutes in there, keep going in there. Come on, man, we gotta go. Then he's just getting out of bed. Then we had a 45-minute drive to where we had to clock in. Now, I just lost over 2 hours of my day. Yes, I'm still got to do the same amount of hours, but now I'm going to lose time with my kids at home. Most of the time, I end up in the garage and stuff anyways because it was nonsense. But again, how much nonsense is in your life? Are you ready to change it? Go into stores. What's the first thing we start doing? Shopping carts all over the place. People don't put shopping carts back. Dang it, and you got to get out and move them. When was the last time you got out and grabbed some shopping carts, even though it's not your responsibility, and pushed them into the cart crowd? Or you see somebody that you're pushing your cart out, and they go to toss that cart just off to the side, and you just walk over, I'll take it for you. And they're looking at you like, that shocked look like, man. I can't believe somebody did that. Or the last time an elderly person's putting their stuff in there and they might have one of those electric carts. Just hop on it and let me take it back there. Now, I've always wondered this. Now, I can look at it different ways. How did they get in there in the first place? Did they walk in? Or did somebody go in and get the cart for them? But if they walked in and then brought the cart out, put your groceries away, then they should be able to take that cart back and walk back out to the car. Most of them got handicaps. Just saying. It's not right unless somebody went in and got it and then they brought it out and just leave because they can't walk that far. Maybe that's the principle. I don't know. But I'm just saying, if you're able to walk in there and get the cart and bring it out, you should be able to take the cart back and then walk back to the car. And then you see these kids and everybody playing around on wheelchairs and stuff in there that don't need it, and then just leave them in aisles and everything else. I sit there and I think about that going, you gotta be kidding me. Now somebody really needs that, and you're playing around with it. See, we don't do nothing. We're so afraid of confrontation. We're so afraid. How is it that we're afraid of Lucifer? Well, are you watching stupid movies? And I mean stupid. Exorcist, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Leatherface, Pinhead. I can go down a list of stupid. Because if it's fair, things that go bump in the night start to become reality. But in the long run, why are we fearful? We don't have to be fearful. We don't have to, because Jesus gave us the power and authority of Him. If a little string off of His garment could heal someone, Peter's shadow could heal. Them casting out legions. Jesus cast legions into swine, pigs, and they drowned them. We have that authority to cast evil out of our life, because His blood is powerful. His blood paid the price. His blood gives us that authority. Prayer stops the enemy, because the enemy can't hear what you're saying to the Lord and God. See, the devil don't want you to have that spiritual connection time, that intimacy time with God. He doesn't want you to use your spiritual prayer tongue, because he wants to keep you captive where he has you. He wants you to be judging. He wants you to be in the gossip. He wants you to be in that lifestyle that everything's okay. It's okay to break down somebody else's spirit, because people do it to you. Nonsense. The Lord also said, I did not come for an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. He told us to watch away from it. But he did say, come to bring division. It also says that your children will come against you. It also says that your mother-in-law will come against daughter-in-law, daughter-in-law against mother-in-law, son against father, father against son. I mean, it's he laid it out before us. You know, when you go to play a board game and everybody's reading the directions, maybe you don't. Maybe you make up your own rules, like Monopoly. Oh my gosh, there's so many different ways of playing Monopoly. When you start reading this going, no, we don't play it like that, we play it like that. Well, that's not the right way to play. You get the people that knows the rules, try playing life with them. Not the game life, but try playing the game when there's no budging, because you wasn't taught that way. See, and that's why you got these different religions. People were taught a certain way. Somebody asked me a couple of years back, do you think Catholics pretty much walk the way they walk because they can sin and go confess? Yeah, I do. Do you think Jehovah's Witnesses continue just to sin, thinking they're going to confess on the time that Jesus is standing in the clouds and the people are being... Yes. Now, do I believe they're going to go to heaven or not? I don't know. That's none of my concern. I don't stand there and go, well, it's not right if they believe that. But I also go off the fact of this. They know the truth if they're truly reading the Bible. If you're truly reading the Bible, it kind of throws all that out of there. I've said it before. I don't need to go into a confession booth, box, whatever the heck they call it, and have to ask a priest to forgive me. That priest can't forgive me. He can't forgive my sins. You look at the high priest, what he would do, go sacrifice animals on behalf of people's sins once a year. The Lord was the perfect lamb, without blemish, without sin. That's why he was sacrificed. Why he went to the cross. He paid the price. He broke all chains, all curse. Everything was broken that day he went to that cross. He defeated the grave and left the sins of all men. Every sin, not just some sin, every sin in that grave. He walked out of that grave, walked into hell, defeated hell, beaten, battered, beyond recognition, still defeated and grabbed the keys and sealed it. And we think we have no power. I never met anybody that prays, and their life is not changing. I look at my life today, and all I can do is keep thanking Him. As I'm driving, all I think about, Lord, thank you for this. Oh, I forgot to thank you for this. Maybe I did. Maybe I did. I don't know, but I want to thank you again. Thank you for showing me favor. It does get a little frustrating. Sitting there talking to Darlene over the weekend. I was replacing our stove caught on fire. Element blew out, broke, caused a fire, blew out another element in the back. I'm like, this is ridiculous. So running around trying to find the parts, got to order everything. Well, I don't know what all these parts are called. I know how to fix it. I don't know the parts of them. I've been turned away from jobs. I said, well, then let me go in there and fix it. I'll show you how to fix it. I just might not know the proper name for it, but I know how to do it. It wasn't good enough. No, we need you to know the names, really. Okay. And then I walk out of there. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for not putting me in a place where you don't need me or want me. It becomes their loss. I'm not overconfident, but what I know, I know. But let's face it, the older I get, eyesight not so good. You know, years of abuse, it's nobody's fault but myself. My body's tore up, nobody's fault but my own. Do I ask Him to heal me? Yes. Will He? If not here, He will in heaven. I'm okay with that. Get through it. I'll ask Him to help me. Get me through this day, Lord. Some days I go through there and I start finding stuff wrong with my body, appearance, or whatever it may be, and I get on that pity train and I start moping and groping and whining and complaining, and He just sits there and stares at me and says, let me know when you're done. First thing comes to me is shame. I'm sorry for shaming. See, the reason why I say that, because you got to understand when somebody comes against us, and somebody does something wrong against us, they're doing it to Him first. And if you do it to Him, you're doing it to the Father. You do it to the Father, you're doing it to Him. What you do to me, you do to them before you do me. They take all the blunt, I just take the end of it. If I even get that. A name is a name. It's a word. We made up. I don't care what people's opinions is. It's your opinion, you're entitled to. I don't believe it. If I don't believe it, that's why I say I don't care what your opinion is. Maybe somebody right now wants a promotion. and there's a promotion coming up in your work. Maybe you feel you're owed that promotion. Maybe you do. But maybe you need to get down on your knees and pray, Lord, is this true? What you want from me? See, some people go after bigger promotions, become a manager because they think, oh, I'm going to be able to sit down on it. And I know somebody that did that. And I said, did you really think that's what you were going to do? Well, it's not, being a manager isn't always what it seems what it's going to be. Yes, it has its benefits at times. Sometimes you work harder. But if you're always seeking the easy street, eventually you end up blowing your motor because you didn't check the oil. You're on flat tires because you're trying to turn around. And you're stuck. Easy street isn't so easy. Everybody else's fault, but you're. That's how you live your life, and that's exactly what it's going to be. Nobody's fault. It's not my fault, it's everybody else's fault. Well, I beg to differ. That is so not the truth. You're the one. Well, my kids won't listen. Pray. I'm a single parent. Okay. And then you need to get around people that's going to pray with you. Sometimes God sends people into your life to help you. You don't even realize it because you don't want to take that time to find out. Or the devil's putting thoughts in your heads. Doesn't matter. The only way to find out what life is, where we're supposed to be, is to ask the true King himself, and that's the Lord Jesus Christ. Halloween's coming up. How many of you think it's okay to go to churches, do the trunk and treat thing? Well, it's at a church. Yeah, but look at all the nonsense they allow onto the property. Evil! People are cussing, smoking dope. I was at one, and that's exactly what I seen. I was so disgusted. Couldn't believe it. And we think we're making a difference? No, you're allowing evil seeds. There's nothing great about celebrating the devil's holiday. I did for years. I did from a child all the way up because I didn't know any better. I worked in the haunted houses. Anybody who's familiar with the Akron area, there's two big haunted houses side by side. Worked in there for years. Christmas party. I tried to always do a Christmas fun thing and stick to that, whatever it was, break it down between the children, but somehow it always got spent. And again, my fault. I should have stopped it. Take the blame when it's your blame. Either way, what are you going to do? You have an opportunity to change the rest of your day when you're hearing this, or maybe be in the beginning of your day. Or you have an opportunity, you're hearing it late in your day, to change tomorrow. You have an opportunity to walk around your apartment, your house, your trailer, your camper, your condo, your mansion. I don't care what you live in. A shack, cardboard box. You have an opportunity to change your life. And that's accepted Jesus. But you gotta expect, when you ask him to start mowing the stump for you, you gotta expect things gonna change. You gotta be ready to give up stuff. You gotta be ready when he says, draw near to me, I will draw near to you. You got to be ready to do some of that work. You have to be ready to go in there and clean your house, your vents, your temple, your home where you live in. And it should be, if you have a spouse, they should be the ones, a husband, a father, they should be the ones in there doing this. The devil wants that woman authority to override man. If you think I'm wrong on this, then why didn't the devil go to Adam first? Why did he go to Eve? Oh. Is it because we still do it today? See, women sometimes love to hold certain things over men. And men are weak. Men sometimes think with a different thinking. Without going into rated R versions of things, I think you figure it out. Is it wrong? Is it right? You wonder why there's a lot of lust? You wonder why there's... And I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it all. But you wonder why people start stepping out on their marriages? Because they use excuses, or the other spouse isn't there. They don't feel love. Or maybe you shouldn't even been with them. Maybe you run into the person that you're supposed to be. You won't know until you seek the Lord. See, it's somebody told, and I know people are going to say, well, Nelson, what doesn't the Bible speak against not getting divorced? And then you go into... I had someone give me a long... Oh my gosh, I got tired of reading. And all I sent them back is, I don't have enough time in the day to go through this with you. There's a whole thing about marriage. Telling me I should leave my household because I committed adultery. You don't know nothing about my life. So don't come and tell me something and tell me to read the Bible. You obviously don't listen to the videos. You want to hear what you want to hear. People are out there looking to find something wrong so they feel better about their lives, and I'm convinced of that. All I'm saying is, if you got together with someone in sin when you got with someone, do you really think that person was from God? Now, I'm not saying it's right to get a divorce. Because here's what happens. Most of the time when you're in that relationship, it never seems to last. It's like serving two masters. Eventually, someone gets hurt. See, this is why you don't mess around with things. It's why you don't do things that you shouldn't be doing. Does God forgive? It says so. The only thing that's unforgivable is blasphemy against the Spirit. And I truly believe that. If I made an ignorant mistake, I'd have remarried, but upheld it in God's way. But the person I also with committed adultery. Does not the Bible say then that is grounds for divorce? Now, if I was today, and I was in a godly relationship, and it happened, if God's able to forgive, I'm able to forgive. See, I'm not one of the people who's going, I'm going to leave. That's it. Done. You made a mistake. You may say, Nelson, the trust is gone, this is gone. Is it? Maybe you need to go examine yourselves too. I'm not saying what happened is right. they may do it again. Some of you might go, well, no, I can't do that. But what happens? What happens is you run right out that door and you go right doing the same thing that they did. Oh, I loved you and I did this and that, but you were so quick to go and do the same thing. Oh, I'm just paying her back. Or I'm paying him back for what he did. Really? Where does that say in the Bible? But that's okay. I'm just saying. So what you're saying is, Jesus can forgive. God can forgive. But you can't forgive. Because there's no trust. There's no this. Well, how many things get broken in marriages out of trust? There's more than just a sexual breaking of things. How many people literally come home and their spouse does nothing? But it's very controlling over a household. It does nothing. You know what the things that really get me is you see the people wearing the crosses. And you're like, do you uphold that cross? And they just stare at you like they have no clue what you're talking about. Or do you wear it just to wear it? To make people think. But then you look at their lives and you go, they're controlling, they're insecure. And you go, yeah, you might as well take the cross off. Because that's not what Jesus went to the cross for. I'm just being truthful. If you can't trust the person you're with, everything they're doing, you're constantly looking over them. Or you got to know who they're talking to. Or you got to see what's going on. If I had to worry about that all day, I would not be in this truck. Many people can't be because they got to know exactly what's going on. Let me tell you right now, it doesn't matter what's going on there. Because whatever is going on, no matter how good you treat somebody, no matter how good you are to them, if they're going to do whatever they're going to do, if the devil is leading them. That is the truth. I don't care if you get up and make their breakfast every morning, you pack their lunch, you fold their clothes a certain way, you go through the whole song and dance. You ever notice them type of people are never satisfied? But yet you gotta ask permission, but they don't have to ask permission. How the heck is that? What are you talking about? Oh, my money's my money and this and that. I pay this and they pay that. No, bull crap. When you enter into a marriage, it is equal. I don't understand all this separateness. You are setting the devil's pathway in your life to keep you separate. Because let me tell you right now, without an agreement in signing, in notarized, which is called a prenup, I don't give a crap what you think is yours. They walk away with half. Half. Take what they want. Even if the cars were in your name and they drove off with it and you're married, that officer isn't going to stop them. That's what the judge is there to do, decide who gets what. Doesn't matter. Is why I say I don't care. If tomorrow comes and I get a message or a phone call and I'm not speaking words into existence, I'm just saying if whatever happens, I'm not in control of it. God is. The Lord is, because I put them in control of my day. All the screaming, all the carrying on, all the stressing out and worrying over possessions isn't going to matter. I had to ask my wife today, how much money do we got in savings? She could have said none, and I would have believed her. She would have had to deal with the lying part. I wouldn't have second guessed it, because I don't know. I don't care. I truly do not care. But the weird thing is, she goes out and buys something. If I'm busy, she'll tell me later on. I hope you don't mind. No, I don't mind. I mean, I usually go pretty quickly. But I'm grateful that you tell me. Not like I come home and I run through her room when she's not around and start looking at every clothes. Oh, I don't remember this. She'll tell me stuff that I bought her and I don't even remember buying it. Seriously. I was looking at that. She had something on. She goes, oh, this is what you got me the one day at such and such place. I'm like, really? I'm like, okay. See, when you put that kind of trust and that kind of faith into something, whatever they do, they're going to do. Am I going to be upset if she went in there and spent every dollar on something? No. It's money. What's the sense in having a bank account that is through the roof, but yet you have no excitement in life? No, I'm not foolish. I pay on insurances and stuff because if something does happen, she's taking care of it. I don't have life insurance on her because I'm able to keep going and doing what I'm doing. And I know you may say, well, is that fair? What about if we're both working? Your lifestyle is different. You come home. I don't come home. Does it really matter? Because I still continue to do the same thing every day. Yes, I agree. If you're coming home and you're relying on both people's income, then yes. See, I'm not relying on her income. We don't rely on it. We're relying on what God has provided this. And He has put us in different places and He has provided. Because I hold to it, the promises that He will provide. As long as I'm being obedient and listening. So, if we're living off this income, that's why I speak the way I speak. Now, you may have 2-car payments, you may have a house payment, a bunch of kids at home. Yes, I would say yes, you probably should have life insurance on both people. It's not my situation. My situation is different. You have to go off the situation to say what is fair and what is just. If you don't know, pray. You're going to hear this all through this video. If you don't know, pray. If you don't know, pray. Truly pray. Just don't seek God. Here's my card. I'm swiping it. I need money. I need this. God, I need this. God, I need this. Lord, help me. Lord, help me. Lord, help me. But you give nothing back. How many of you have friends that do that to you and you say, I'm not doing no more for them? They do nothing but use me. When I need help, they won't come. Well, we're going to continue to help and continue to pray for these people because that's what the Lord expects us to do. Do for those who have come against you. Do more for them. How much? 7 times 7. Wow, that's a lot. You're right. But if He's capable of doing that for me, I'm capable of doing it for someone that has just come to toss stones at me. So, hopefully, I mean, there's more I'd really like to say on this. think I'm going to stop. I think I'm going to stop and just see people's thoughts on this. See if you want more of this. If not, I have something totally different I'm going to go into. But this has been laying on my heart to go into this. Hallows Eve's coming up here. This is going to be a different Hallows Eve. We're going to see hell open up. You can mark it. Trust what I'm telling you. Either way, God bless you guys. I ask for peace, love, and joy over there. I ask for protection over you. I ask that your tables are always filled with food, that you have no struggles, that you seek God and put His Son, this Lord Jesus, in your life. May His blood be over you. May the angels protect you through this time and keep you moving upwards and looking up. God bless you. Until the next one.